Hi, I'm Dr. Molly with Your Goals Physical Therapy. I got asked a question just the other day, and it was, why does my neck hurt after I do pull-ups? And I thought that was amazing because I have my own personal story with this. So in this video, we're going to talk about why that happens. I'm also going to go over the anatomy, which will help explain why it happens, and then how you get rid of it right now. Like if you're at home dealing with this, what can you do then? And if it persists, what you can do if it persists. So let's start with the story. So I'm gonna tell myself. So just the other day, I was doing pull-ups, and I work out in my house, and I thought I had one more in me. So I go up and I pull down, and my whopping 2 or 3 of those, and I did not have that last one. I immediately felt my neck tighten up, and I knew that I was going to be uncomfortable. It was just a matter of how uncomfortable. So the next day I woke up and I spent the whole day driving, turning my whole body every time I had to look to the right. I really hoped my kids would stop screaming and trying to get my attention to the right. I really wanted them to yell this way. Because it just hurt. It was just bothersome. I mean, I won't say it was agony. It's just bothersome to turn my head after a certain range. And so, of course, I got down and I did my exercises, and I iced my neck, and I did all the things that I'm about to tell you to do, and it was fine within a day or so. And I know now what I have to do to make sure this does not keep happening to myself. So now, let's talk about the anatomy. Why on earth, if I'm doing a back exercise, does my neck hurt? So we have something called your upper trap. So it's a muscle that runs from basically the base of your skull down to the top of your shoulder. And it's a great muscle. It does lots of amazing things, 2 of which are it shrugs your shoulder and it makes your head turn to the side. And the interesting thing is that it can do kind of both at the same time, right? So we can kind of bring it in all at the same time. And when we do things where our arms are over our head, a lot of times we recruit those muscles, or that muscle, without really knowing it. And it's not actually supposed to help us when we do pull-ups, but it is normally so much stronger than the muscles in our back that are actually supposed to be helping us do that pull-up, that if we get fatigued, tired, we're not paying attention to our form, then it will take over automatically without us paying attention and help us do that exercise. But again, since it does 2 things at once at our neck, if we're really trying and really pulling everything in, then it'll cause a big muscle spasm. And that muscle spasm is typically what makes it very uncomfortable to turn, because that muscle is just so locked in that it's not able to relax. So that's the basic anatomy. So because again, the pull down is supposed to be working. Like your lats help, your rhomboids help, lower trap helps, middle trap, posterior delt. I mean, like all the back. It's a really good back exercise. All those muscles in your upper back are supposed to be helping you pull yourself up and lower yourself back down. But just again, because the upper trap tends to be stronger than a lot of those muscles, if one of them gets fatigued, it takes over, and we end up in this scrunched position. It doesn't have to be that extreme. And then we end up with a muscle spasm, which can take a couple days to get rid of. So how do you get rid of it? If you're dealing with this right now, how do I make it stop? Okay, thanks for explaining all that randomness to me, but I need this to stop. So you would start with ice. I know everybody wants to do a hot pack, but and obviously if it doesn't help, then try the hot pack. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably going to get more out of it if you just take a bag of frozen peas, carrots, like the little baby cut up carrots anyway, and just put it on your neck for about 10 minutes. Get into as much of a comfortable position, so you don't necessarily want to be walking around. You want to have your elbow supported so your shoulder can really relax, and you just want to sit there for about 10 minutes with that going anywhere along this line of your neck. After that, you're just going to gently move. What do I mean by that? I mean like little motions, like just repetitive little motions, not big. If you get to that part where you're like, it ain't going any further, then you just stop. And so the same thing with rotation. You just go little bits and little bits. Nice, smooth. I get tired of counting personally, so I just set a timer. And I would do maybe a minute. I'm going fast in this video, but you don't have to go that fast. It's just little itty bitty motions, just to the point of being irritated, and then come back. So I would do, if you're dealing with this, and I would do side bending, and I would do rotation. If you want, you can tuck to your, you can go down if that helps too. So now we have ice and those gentle motions. The other thing that you can try, which you have to be very gentle, I'm putting a giant asterisk here, you could stretch. The motion that you want to stretch is getting your ear to your shoulder. You don't necessarily, you'll see other people where they have you like pull your head down and have your arm behind. Honestly, at least for me, if I do this to myself and I have a giant muscle spasm, that's a little aggressive for me. So just letting your head hang and getting used to just the weight of that is enough of a pull that I get a good stretch, and I don't get pain after it, and I get a lot more out of it. So just letting it just gently rest that way and then come up. And that can be very aggressive, so I would just do that for 30 seconds, maybe a minute, twice. You don't need to do too much more. Now, I would say over 50% of the people who accidentally do one too many pull-ups, they're going to be perfectly fine with one or all three of those. But it does happen that maybe your muscle spasm is a little bit more aggressive, or maybe you already had something going on with your upper trap, and so this is a lingering thing. So now you're getting into week 2 or 3 and you're still just having this nagging sensation. I would come and see a movement specialist or a physical therapist. And the reason I would is because there could be something else going on between your shoulder and your neck, that complex, that is making this last too long. And there's no reason to give up doing pull-ups, which is a perfectly wonderful exercise, or slowing down your workout program because of a minor muscle pull that might just need something else to be corrected. This could be the symptom of something else that's not balanced, and it doesn't have to be a massive overhaul to correct that. If you're strong enough that you're trying to do pull-ups, whatever has happened is more than likely not something that's going to be super devastating. But there's a lot of bones in your neck, there's a lot of bones in your shoulder complex and your upper back. So a lot of random things could be going on that you're not going to be able to figure out on your own. I mean, it's just too many things, too many variables. And having somebody be able to watch how you're moving, how you injured yourself, actually feel what's going on in your body is going to be the fastest way, the most efficient use of your time to get you back to working out with the least amount of rest. So let's not put off getting back to those pull-ups. Let's start with these, simple range of motion stretching exercises. And then if that doesn't work, why don't you try to contact my clinic and we can help you. I'll give you 2 ways to be able to do that, just to make it as simple as possible for you. So I will offer you can just call the clinic and I'll set up a link below that will kind of fast track that for you. We'll set up a time so it's more convenient for you, so I don't just randomly call you, and or a discovery visit. So maybe you want to come in and see the clinic, meet me in person, and make sure that I truly can do what I'm telling you I can do. Then we can certainly meet in person. I call those discovery visits. They are free. They are 20 minutes, and it's a time for us to be able to meet. You get to ask me questions. We'll go through maybe a brief movement screening just to make sure that I'm the right fit for you, and then we can plan going forward. So whatever that looks like for you. I hope that this video has been very helpful, and I hope that you get back to doing those wonderful pull-ups as soon as possible.